Apple have stopped innovating. We know that. I think in terms of hardware and devices, Samsung are ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And we've got the Google Pixel phone even. We've got Hawaii phones. Is that how you pronounce it?
Hawaii.
Japanese manufacturers. You know what I mean? They're doing the thing. Yeah, guys. But in terms of modern, if we're looking at modern consumer behavior in general and the way that's evolving, you know, access to services over ownership and these sorts of things, Apple are ahead of the curve. They're not worried about tech. They're a tech company, a very successful one. They're not worried about tech or having the latest hardware.
Yeah.
They've created this infrastructure which allows them to sell experiences, not products. And so a Samsung is the innovator in products. They lead on products. They bring out the new tech. They do it at the best prices. They sell the screens to Apple. You know what I mean? They do product.
Yeah.
Apple's selling experience.
Well, this is where I worry.
Okay.
This is where I worry.
So the price point of an Apple, an iPhone X as their market leader, for example, is ridiculous. It's expensive. But what you're actually paying for is the experience, i.e. the after sales, the fact that you can walk into any Apple store in the world and get your phone repaired within an hour. And that whole kind of consumer experience. You're not paying for the technology.
You're paying for infrastructure, essentially.
You're paying for their infrastructure. You're paying for that whole experience of owning the device.
See, because this is weird, because this is where I feel there's been kind of a shift in Apple's policy, and I think it's a slightly worrying shift. But I think in saying that they sell their infrastructure, that's a new perspective that I didn't have before, and that actually is something I didn't think of, because I was worried for Apple just on the basis that one of the things that's always been kind of their one of their core market methodologies is proprietary, is making their systems proprietary. So they've always kind of tied people into an ecosystem, you know, that you can't get out of. When the whole app thing came out, App Store, no one cared about Android. No one cared about Windows. You had to be a part of the App Store. Only Apple apps. It's the same thing when you had iTunes, and it was like they locked you into their music. So they've always been very good at locking you into their systems. And this is where I kind of had a bit of red flags, is that they've kind of gotten really slack on the software front. And that's what worried me. Particularly like if you look at Alexa and voice, like the fact that they allowed essentially they allowed Android with Google and Amazon with Alexa to come from behind them and produce superior voice recognition software to the point that no one even cares for or uses Siri anymore. That was peculiar with me, because I would have thought that would have been Apple, okay, we've introduced Siri, now we're going to kill it, we're going to make it proprietary, and we own voice. That would have been their old approach to the market. But you kind of had this very poor kind of marketing experience with Siri, and then they allowed their competitors to come and essentially overtake their market. So you're looking at Apple now, and it's like you're just buying hardware now, because now that's leaked into the whole App Store. People don't care if it's Apple or Android. Yeah, when you're developing apps or something, you got to develop it on both platforms. You can't do one or the other. And the front leading software right now, Google is making all of the software that you're running on your Apple phone. So you're running an Apple phone, and a lot of your software is Google. And that was a worrying trait to me. I was looking at that and I was like, well, this is worrying, because if now you're only holding your Apple as a bit of hardware, what's to stop a really amazing phone coming out tomorrow that kind of ticks everybody's kind of lust for, you know, in the same way that Yeezys came out. No one heard of Yeezys before Yeezys came out, and when they came out, they were the luxury brand. So it's very easy for a new phone manufacturer to come out and just establish themselves from the jump as the luxury brand, which is where they established. And if you haven't got those proprietary software infrastructures, where does that leave Apple? Doesn't it make that?
But that's happened already. We've seen that over the last 5 years. Like every phone, every top smartphone on the market is better than the iPhone. It doesn't matter. if you have an
but
Android
they haven't
phone,
established the luxury branding that Apple have. They haven't taken that.
Yeah, they can't, because you know why? No other hardware or device manufacturer can have that high street presence. They've infiltrated every major city globally with a big. Their shops aren't shops; they're museums.
Yeah, absolutely.
Branded museums. Do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone can compete with that. If your Samsung device has an issue with it, what do you do?
I have no idea.
Do you know what I mean?
I've got
Whereas
no
with
idea.
Apple, they've got an online booking thing. You book your slot. You feel like you're getting a personal. Do you know what I mean? Like you're going to the Genius Bar. Like it's all branded, and you feel like you're getting this personal treatment because you've got a 20-minute slot booked in at your convenience, and it comes through on the app with your notification. You need to leave your house to get to your appointment, and then you get there, and there's a friendly face talking to that's what no other manufacturer can compete with right now.
Okay, so on that note,
regardless of the tech, as you said, which is better elsewhere.
Right, on that note, if I was Apple, I would be very nervous of Amazon potentially releasing a handset, or Amazon potentially acquiring Google's handset technology, because Amazon have the financial clout to make a physical high street presence along with that. I'm not sure if the Apple's high street presence, I still fear for them. I'm not sure if their high street presence is enough. We know that their market's not growing, or hasn't grown really for the past few years. They're just maintaining a market share. We know that much. I kind of feel like they've peaked and there's only one way to go.
I don't know, man. I think if Amazon competed in the same way in terms of that high street presence and creating the whole infrastructure around the tech and the support side of things, they wouldn't occupy the same space, because Amazon, with their marketplace background, would never be seen as luxury. So if we're talking about, so Apple have stolen the lead in terms of selling the experience, and Amazon could, they have the financial clout to come into that market, but I don't feel like they could occupy the same space.
Which is why I position the possibility of the Google acquisition, because for some reason, and I couldn't explain this, Google's brand still has an appeal to it. Like, I don't imagine anyone feels embarrassed holding the Google Pixel. They've created a really luxury phone there, and it has something about it.
Look at Chromebooks. Chromebooks are like 300 quid.
That's Chromebooks though. That's different.
Yeah, but that's
they've got the Pixel Chrome. That's expensive.
The Google
laptop.
Home devices are like 30 quid. Google Chromecasts 30 quid. Like, I don't think they could then shift to high-end stuff.
Is there such a thing as a high-end phone?
Yeah,
really.
A Samsung S and an Apple iPhone.
Is there any? I mean,
high-end.
I see. I don't buy into. I don't think there's any status that comes with a phone.
They're high-end. Their price point is high-end.
But they're expensive. They're not high-end. They're expensive because of their performance. That's it.
You're paying
I don't
for
think
more
it's
than
high end.
the tech.
I don't. I get a Samsung I get the top of the range Samsung every year, and I don't think I'm unique in this. I'm obviously only speaking for myself, but I get the top of the range Samsung every year. So I got my S8 now that's about to expire. Well, it's 2 years. So I'm about to get a new one. I get top of the range one every year, and I don't feel like there's any kind of clout or prestige that comes with holding that phone.
My brother,
I don't feel anything. I get it because this is the best phone. Like, it's got the biggest hard disk. It's got the best processor.
Yeah.
It's smooth. It runs. That's why I'm getting it.
Okay.
I'm not getting it as a high end name.
Right. Let me ask you something.
Go on.
Where do you live? What
London.
city do you live in?
London.
What car do you drive? You don't need to tell us.
No, I'm not gonna say.
What do you do for? you're not everyone.
Yeah, but I think I represent
no, you don't.
a lot of owners of the phone.
You don't.
I do.
You don't.
Surely I do.
You don't. Look at the global distribution of the device that you're saying isn't high end, and look at the age of these people, the the income related to these people, the location of these people. It's not the same.
So you're saying
it's
that
a high end device.
You're saying that people pull out an iPhone, in a coffee shop, and they feel like, look, I've got an iPhone. Wow.
No, I don't think. Well, no, actually, let me quantify that.
Do they?
Some people do. Okay. Young people do, because for a young person, and if I'm a teenager or anywhere up to undergraduate,
so
right?
It's like my sneakers. It's like my trainers.
Yeah, because at that stage in your life, what have you spent on that's more valuable than my £1,200 iPhone? I don't have a vehicle of my own. I don't have a home of my own. So in terms of luxury goods, they cost more than sneakers or any item of clothing. Yeah, like I've worked with people, young people, and if they get the new iPhone, that's like, not only am I getting an iPhone, I'm buying insurance with this, because if it breaks, I'm stuffed. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still so in those circles. True. I would imagine, if I don't want to disrespect any country, any part of the country, where is not affluent in England. Like, let's pick a.
Don't. Let's say a
let's pick a
city.
I was thinking of one. I don't like someone from this town. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
You're gonna lose us fans.
But out there, if you go to the pub and you're working class and your whole environment is working class, and you pull out that new iPhone or that new S9, hell yeah, you're stunting.
Symbol. Okay, fair enough.
You're stunting.
You I think you've defended that point. Fair enough.
In London, West.